Hello, everyone. This is Jason, and welcome to EVE Online. I've decided to start a Let's Play series on it to sort of chronicle my exploits in the game. I've been a pretty long-standing player. I actually started when the game first came out back in 2003, which means that my character is a decade old. uh, I would like to give a quick shout out to J2 John Jeremy and Scott Manley for their EVE Online Let's Play series, and also to Kurt J. Mack, who does a Let's Play of another favorite game of mine, Kerbal Space Program. Scott Manley also does one as well. But all three of them have been inspirations for me to start this up. And I do intend on doing a Kerbal Space Program Let's Play as well, but I'm waiting for the next update on that one. So for the time being, we have EVE Online Odyssey, and in a moment I will log in here and we can start going with it.
Connecting.
Okay, so we've got my main character here. Then we've got one of my alternate characters over here. I'm going to start off with my main character. He's got his own corporation, Industrialist. I would like to add Desanter to the last name of my character, but naming policies, arg mumble grumble. So, here is where I'm at. Pashanai, I guess. I still don't know how to word half of these systems. And I'm in my primary transportation hauler here. I named it the Carson too. So I've got my Bustard, and I've got it set up to use the Cloak MWD trick, so I can slip through low-sec space pretty easily, which is rather handy because it cuts my travel time into some of the main market hubs in half, which is quite nice. And I've got a pretty hefty range of cargo here, considering how I can slip through low-sec, 23,000 cubic meters. So I'm mostly an industrialist in this game, and just to give you an idea on how industrialist I am, going to open up my corp hangar here. The corp is just me and my alts. And Blueprint Originals, 6.5 cubic meters, 653 items. I have a lot of blueprints. And I have a pretty active presence on the local market as well. So corporation orders. Yeah, just about everything I've got a blueprint for I've got on the market, with the exceptions of rigs and components. I got a few buy orders, as you can see down here. These are actually some of the highest per unit value buy orders in the region. I'm very intentional that way, and I can still maintain a pretty good profit. But this is a lot to keep track of. So what I do is I have a Microsoft Access database that I've been working on for like the past 6-7 years, that I've been slowly developing and to keep track of all this stuff. So every day I will, go in and export the market information. I usually do that roughly midnight-ish Eve time. And the only thing I do is I add a date stamp to the final column of the market export for the current day that I'm in. It'd be my local time, Eastern Standard, instead of the Eve time, since it's around midnight. It tends to be either day. And that gives me a pretty good idea of where I'm at. I just plug it into the database, run a few queries and such, and it spits out information about how much I've sold, how much profit I've got, what orders I need to bring back on the market, what's been selling, all that kinds of stuff. Absolutely wonderful. Makes my life so much easier. I don't get into all the nitty-gritty market details like like Isogen. I don't tend to mess around too much with like average prices and such and all the market history. It's interesting. It's just not my thing. It's a little bit too much work. I like my market stuff to be as passive as possible. So I'm going to undock here. That will take a moment, and I've got a little chat thing here. And I am going to... Oh, I love it when things clip like that. I am going to show you guys my Starbase. It's a 0.5 system, and I actually have the standing with the Amar Empire to put this thing here. So I'm going to warp over there while I'm chatting with one of my friends here. Okay, so mainly I do market stuff, but occasionally I dabble in low sec and even some null sec, and this is like totally without any Empire or Alliance's permission or whatnot. My buddy here is saying hey to all of you. Hurricane Malorant has been a friend of mine for a few years now, so more consistently playing than I have. So anyways, so like I was saying, I do dabble a little bit in nullsec, but not with any alliance's permission. I just kind of do some covert ops stuff, exploration, me just kind of messing around just because it's fun. And I've got, you know, crazy amounts of skills. Yeah, 111 million skill points. I know, for 10 years, that's actually not a lot. I had several breaks for losing about 2 or 3 years worth of actual time being able to train, so go fig. But yeah, here is my Starbase. It is very simple. I'm not doing much with it right now. I have 3 labs. They are the standard type because what I'm doing is show me the corporate ones in the what I'm doing is mainly ME and PE research. I guess it'd probably have been easier for me to show that here. Oh, sweet, I've got this stuff finished here. Okay, so I'm going to load up my access database, which unfortunately Fraps will not show you. It kind of keeps things running in Eve regardless. I play in windowed mode because I'm tabbing between all sorts of stuff all the bloody time. One of the nice things about my database is it also will do calculations on how much it costs to produce things and give me an estimated sale price based on what kind of profit margin I want. Very snazzy little thing. So, go back to station. And yeah, so I've got these 2 things that finished: Focus Medium Pulse Laser, Core Probe Launcher. Those sold out about a day or 2 ago, and I tend to spit those out in about quantities of 100. Takes about 10 hours, no problem. I'll eventually get that up to quantities of 1,000, but I don't have the market capital yet to do that. My inconsistency in playing this game has been something of a hamper for that. But I can see the name of my other character there. I have 2 accounts. Karin is my primary character on my second account. I have 2 characters on each account. The alternate characters on the accounts I will eventually be training up to take over all of the basic market, the production and market functions of my main characters, which means maxing out production efficiency, maxing out mass production, and maxing out my ability to put up buy and sell orders, which I do actually have on both of my main characters. I can do 305 orders with each of my primary characters on my account, so it gets a little crazy. Alright, so let me finish out these 2 jobs. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Okay. And pre-sales. Now, so what I do when I'm ready to sell something, oops, I don't want market data, is I will first check to see what the production costs are and what kind of profit margin I want to get on this. So for the focused medium pulse laser, it currently costs me a little over 87,000 ISK to produce, and I put a minimum threshold of 20% profit on everything I sell, even if that's above the average or the lowest prices in the region. Because I'd rather have it up there and it not sell than have it up there and sell it at a loss. Selling at a loss is just horrible. Bad. So with my 20% profit margin, I would sell at just under 105,000. However, the lowest in the region is at 300,000 in this very system. So what I also want to do, since I previously had this order up, is check at what the price I had the previous order was, which was 150,000. That sold in 31 days, which is good, but I'd like to get it longer. The idea is to maximize the amount of length that the order stays up so I don't have to hassle with it as often. It's a little counterintuitive because most people would want to sell it as quickly as possible, but I found, especially with the ammos, that was a huge problem. Because a batch of 100 focus medium pulse lasers will take 10 hours to produce. A batch of 100,000 rounds of ammo, which sells much faster than 100 focused medium pulse lasers, takes 2.5 days. So I want my orders to last, so I'm not jamming up my production lines like crazy. So 150,000 at 150,000 ISK, my last order lasted about a month, and the lowest sell order here is at 300,000. So I think I'm going to bump mine up to 250. See how long that lasts. So sell that. All right. And unfortunately, you guys can't see me tabbing into the database. You guys can just see the thing over here, which is why I'm reading off the numbers from the database. So let's see. Core probe launcher. And just setting the filter criteria so I can just see core probe launcher with the 600 plus blueprints I have. Good to know how to filter. So it costs me a little over 11k ISK to produce, and I can sell at about 13,250. And the previous core probe launcher was at 27,500. Now, I could do 27,500 again, and I don't think that'd be a problem because of the jump distance to these lowest ones. I could actually pull it up to, I think, comfortably 3,250, and this last order sold actually quite quick, only 13 days. So I think 32,500. Sorry, I shorthand a lot of my numbers like that. Makes it a little easier for me to keep track of it. Okay, so that one is up as well. All right, and there we go. This information's not going to update in my database until I do my collection at about midnight Eve time, so about 12 hours from now. So the next jobs that are going to finish will be in about 2.5 hours here ish, kind of, sort of. I have no idea. Thinking now, I should probably set a timer so I can keep track of of how long this video is, because I'm guessing I've been doing this for about 15 minutes, but I have no idea. I'm going to target a half an hour for each of these, just to sort of, go with it, and just kind of see how that goes. So these 3 time efficiency researches are going to finish in about 2.5 hours. Yeah. So, and just to give you an idea on the blueprints, I've got pretty much everything Tech 1, except for some of the battleships and the Tier 3 battle cruisers. Oh yeah, and I actually have a Tech 2 Blueprint Original, Scorch L, and I've also got, where are you? Yeah, Heavy Neutron Blaster 2. That was just total luck of the draw back when CCP, Crowd Control Productions, the company that makes the game, had different ways of doing Tech 2 stuff. You can see in my hangar here, I've got Tech 2 blueprint copies, and I've got a shit ton of these too, over 300. And I can do Tech 2 production. I've got the skills for it. I do pretty much all of it. I can't necessarily build jump freighters because I don't have any capital ship blueprints. I could probably do it off of copies, but I don't like doing that. I prefer to work off of blueprint originals. It's more costly and it takes more time. I can't quite grab as much profit off of things as I would like, but it's more reliable. For me, considering that my production is kind of a thing I want to make as passive as possible, I just kind of want it to be there, making me ISK, so I don't have to deal with it at all. Or at least as little as possible. Then a whole bunch of Tech 1 blueprint copies for Invention when I get around to that. I will eventually get my Starbase set up to do Invention. I can do a little bit now. I've got some decryptors. I don't have enough, but some. And yeah. So, and then, ore hanger for the times I do mining. I actually do occasionally do some wormhole W-space mining when I get the chance, when it crops up. Not too often. My materials, mostly just minerals out here, and then the some of the more fancy stuff, because I don't want to take all of my space up that way. So, so data cores, I've got plenty, and I've oh, Hurricane's being funny. And yeah, I don't keep a lot of ISK on me at any given moment. Most of it will go into, I guess I can load this to give you an idea here. Most of it will go into mineral purchases. I tend to keep everything out of the ISK. That will hopefully change eventually, but for the moment, I just don't have the capital to do it any other way. And I've got almost everything is on the market right now. I've got almost 20 billion ISK worth of stuff on the market. I would say probably in total with all of my assets, I'm running 30 to 35 billion, probably 30. And with most of that on the market. A good chunk of that is in the battleships. I guess I'll sort by price so you guys can get an idea about that. Oh yeah, watch this escalate. Carbonized lead, my cheapest product at 6 ISK, all the way up through all this stuff, more, up to the millions, tens of millions. There we are. Abaddon, 310. I actually did get an Abaddon Blueprint Original. It was one of my most been my most expensive purchase, hands down, and it was one of my best investments because it's more than paid for itself in the sheer quantity of Abaddons I have personally lost. At least 2 dozen, if not more, over the course of my time. Just from stupid things too. I mean, I'm a Care Bear, there's no doubt about it. I spend most of my time in HiSec, and I've spent most of my game time in HiSec. It hasn't been until the past maybe year or so that I've gone out of HiSec. And, date of birth, 2003, 5'8", 1 year out of 10, not that much. But yeah, and I have maximized my planet management skills. For a while, I was running Planetary Interaction in low sec, and I actually had it set up so I was producing every single top tier Planetary Interaction item that could be made before low sec got nerfed for Planetary Interaction. And then I was very sad. I may decide to get back into Planetary Interaction in nullsec, but since I have to deal with alliances, They're not gonna let me put up my own customs offices. That's just not gonna happen. I'm a little skeptical on that because, I really do want to get into that kind of stuff, because if I can get producing all of them again, all of those, I think they're P4 or something like that. What's the official market term for them? I love how they have the market in this game. Just amazing. I can find everything. So, planetary materials. No, that's not it. Oh, advanced, is that? Yeah, we are advanced. Advanced components, I guess? I can't even read that. Commodities. Advanced commodities. Okay. So, at one point, I was producing all of the advanced commodities. I was producing one unit of each one every 4 hours. Considering that I think the average value of one of these is about 1 mil, that would be, there's 8 of them, and I was getting 8 every 4 hours, so 2 every hour. That's 2 mil every hour, which is pretty damn good. That's, how does that compare with my production? And I'm just producing Tech 1 stuff at the moment. 2 mils. That's more than my Tech 1 production. It was a fair amount of maintenance, though. The way I had it set up is that I had to interface with it twice a week. I usually did that on Wednesdays and during the weekend. And it was a pain in the butt. It took me a good hour and a half of time each session that I was doing that. And I actually, and that's directly interfacing with it. I had to actually take a hauler out, swap things around, and what I did was I would go out once to pick everything up, and then drop it all off in the station, and then come back out again and drop it all off. And this was split between 12 planets. Both of my primary characters, and actually one of my alt characters as well, on my other account, has max planetary interaction skills. So actually it was more than 12 planets. It was 17 planets, if I'm remembering correctly. I actually had this whole grid laid out to do that. And yeah, it was it was a lot of work. 3 characters getting materials schlepped around between 17 planets was a major pain in the ass, and those planets were split between 3 systems. So if I ever do this again, I am going to try to get it set up with planets all in the same system. It would still have to be 17 planets. There's just no way for me to do it any other way. I've tried like crazy. It just doesn't work with less than 17 planets. I mean, maybe, possibly, but yeah, not likely. So, anyways, I think I'm getting close to the 30-minute mark. I'm probably going to be a little bit under because, like an idiot, I didn't set a timer. So I guess I've given you a little bit of an introduction to how I play EVE Online. So a lot of people, they fly around in space and such, and I do a little bit of that too, mostly level 4 mission running with my 2 main characters. One of them is in a Paladin, and the other one is in a Guardian, I think is the MR logistics cruiser. And, they support each other. The Paladin has remote armor reps on the Guardian, and the Guardian has a ton of remote armor reps and other stuff on the Paladin. But yeah, so as the introduction to how I play EVE Online, this may not be terribly exciting, but I figured I'd at least give you guys a little introduction. I guess for my next few videos, I'll try to cover some of the other stuff I do, low sec and null sec, and some of the mission running. I've currently have the Caldari Epic arc in progress. I should probably get back to it. I really want to get that lab that I get at the end of it, but we'll see how that goes. So anyways, I will cut it off here, and just give me likes or whatnot if you enjoy the video. Feel free and send me an email or conversation in the game. The character's name is just Calvin. I wish it was Calvin DeSanter, but it's Calvin. This is Jason, and I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next episode.